Hello YouTube, my name is Venator, and I hope you all are having a wonderful Friday. In today's video, we are picking up our Deinosuchus adventure where we left off last week in West Rail Pond. Today, we're going to be seeing if we can make it all the way to that coveted 13.5 ton mark. So if you guys enjoy the video, please feel free to drop a like or comment below. It really helps me out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that way you don't miss out on any videos. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into the killing here in West Rail. And shortly after logging in, we had our first visitor. A decent sized dilo coming up to snag a quick drink. And I'm sure, as a lot of you are aware, now that the clones are fixed, these things are everywhere. So I always got to do my part to try and cull that population, because these things are very powerful now. But unfortunately, after that dilo, the pond went cold. We didn't have anything come for a drink the entire next night or next morning. As you can see, my hunger has gone from full to about half, and we've gone just shy of 10 tons to 10.5 tons. And while I wasn't hurting for food, my battle buddy sniper was getting dangerously low, so he decided to make the walk back over to the mangroves. And then, as you can see, the next night I was in the same boat. Hadn't gotten lucky with any elite fish spawning, and nothing had came up for a drink. So under the cover of darkness, I decided, well, I have to follow in his footsteps and go meet back up with him in the mangroves to see if I can get some food. So I figured it was finally time to head out. I left the pond and was making the walk back when I spotted something in the distance. As you can see, I was more concerned with what was behind me because it's pretty wide open, but as I made my way down, I noticed a stego coming towards me off in the distance, just after crossing this little hill. And unbeknownst to me, this stego wasn't as large as I initially thought, but it's something you never want to risk on these long walks. So as soon as I saw him coming down the road right there, I immediately turned back and bolted back to the pond. That way I didn't get caught out. And then, lucky enough, that stego actually came right up to the pond. And it turns out he was not nearly as big, like I said, as I previously thought. And seeing I got here ahead of him, he didn't see me or know that I was in here. And I was able to get just enough stamina back to get off a grab. Even though I don't know what happened right there, I guess I hit that little hipsy first, so he thought I couldn't grab him and came back to get a swing on me, which was a big mistake. I was a little perplexed as to what actually happened right there and why I didn't grab him, and then noticed the hipsy body under him. Anyway, took him down to the bottom and tried to put him in the icebox so he couldn't escape, because as you can see, my stamina is low. And when you're out of stamina, you don't want to bite them. This is a mistake I see players make all the time. If you're out of stam and you start biting them and they have tactile endurance, they'll just swim out of the pond because your bites will convert to stamina for them. So you can just do what I'm doing right here and use your own body as a block to keep them underwater. And then eventually they will drown. But yeah, that stego body has at least solved my food problems for now. And then, funny enough, as I was about to bring the stego body up on the shore to start my feast, I had a little packy come up for a drink. And hey, I'll take it. That is more food. Anything in the tank is a huge help, especially when you're in that long grind going from 8 tons to 13.5 tons. And as you guys can see, this stego is the perfect size. It's going to get my hunger back up over the halfway mark, which is perfect. And now if you're wondering why I'm a little injured here, well, I wasn't accidentally recording at the time, but I tried to go for a grab on some trikes, and turns out they were just outside of the range, and so they hit me with a little thrash, but able to get back in the pond, and then had another pack of dilos come up. And these guys were nice and big. Sadly, I was only able to get one of them though, as the other one, well, he was smart enough to run off out of lunge range, so I couldn't get a second kill. I got close, but with the super lunge kind of getting a little nerfed, it's a lot easier to dodge now. But then he ran back into me, and I was able to hit him with an alt bite. So not a double grab, but still a nice double kill. And shortly after those dilos, had a small, medium-sized ceratosaurus come up for a drink, and since I wasn't at full food, got to take advantage of it and get any percent filled up you can. So, no, it's not the biggest meal, but food is food. And then that next night, as you can see, my hunger was starting to get pretty low again, so I figured I might as well try and make the walk back yet again under the cover of darkness. This time, didn't have any issues and was able to make it back. I wanted to get over here because my buddy Sniper said they were having a lot of luck in the mangroves and just going on a tear, killing stuff. So, figured I should come see what all the fuss was about, and they weren't wrong. As I was making my way under the land bridge, a group of dibbles was trying to run and shoot the gap under the bridge. I was able to hit a nice leading dash lunge and snag the group's leader, leaving the others no choice but to turn back around and go back the way they came. And since I was already pretty good on food, after I drowned this dibble, I let my buddy right there have him, and then I made my way up to South Plains River. And had a pack of dilos try and cross. I was able to get 2 of them and tried to get a third hitting the super lunge, but like I said earlier, the lunge just isn't quite as strong or as fast as it used to be, and they were able to escape. That's not where the action would stop. The next day, we had a Kentro. Decided he wanted to take a rest right next to the river, and this would turn out to be a mistake, because my buddy was able to walk up and get a lunge on him. Now, he didn't have a ton of stamina, but enough to get a lunge and grab on him. And you guys know what's probably coming next. A very nice handoff. And this is one of the things that makes playing with a partner so much fun. It opens up so many creative ways that you can kill things. Not a lot of people expect to get grabbed so far from the shore and then walked halfway back only to be picked up by another croc. I accidentally messed up and let him go right there, but thankfully I had enough stam to get another grab on him and bring him down into the water to finish him off. But anyway, after that, I made my way back down to the mangroves because South Plains, it was getting a little crowded, and you know, I don't know if the crocs were just making their way up there and back and forth, but me and my buddy Riley, who you just saw right there on the handoff, came down to the mangroves, and this is a prime example of what's awesome about this area. So many things try and cross to swim to the islands and make it across quickly. Because previously, the mudflats, the distances you had to swim were very wide. Now, not so much, and it's a lot more tempting to try and cross. So we left that body up there for bait, and sure enough, we attracted a Carno. Riley was able to get a nice grab on him and bring him back in to add to our little kill pile. But after that Carno, we didn't really see much of anything at all, so we made our way all the way back up to the upper river of South Plains, and then headed all the way down towards the path where you can walk to Top Pond to hunt these ramps. The ramps on the north side of the river lead down from the west rail area. And recently I found that there's been quite a bit of foot traffic here. As you can see, we had this family of Kentros running along the river. I was thinking that eventually they would stop to get a drink, but it turns out they were just kind of transiting the area. I'm not really sure why they came down here near the river and didn't stay up top, but hey, I'm going to take it every day of the week, because a lot of these spots, like you see Riley right there, you're able to lunge up and then hit a follow-up lunge because they aren't expecting it. And then since they thought he was alone, they went on the attack. No hesitation or consideration that there could be a second croc. So we got two of these guys down into the river. But then my greed got the better of me, and I was going to try and get another lunge and grab a third one, which was a mistake. Riley didn't have the stamina to finish off his since he double lunged, and so he was doing the classic body blocking trick that I was talking about earlier. But that guy was able to squeeze through. Then I erroneously lunged him and almost let mine completely escape. Kind of made a mess of this situation, but thankfully I had just enough stam to run up and bite one down with bites. Almost got this second one, but just couldn't quite get enough hits on him. After we filled up, figured we might as well keep on going and head up to one of my favorite little hunting holes, Top Pond. Now, I don't know if that's officially what it's called. I don't think it has a name on Vulnona, but it's the top pond above South Plains River, so I just fits for me, and that's what me and my friends call it. But it's a pretty simple walk. Hasn't really changed in this update, but one thing that has changed and is awesome is this pond is filled with elite fish and schooling fish. I was able to sit here by myself for quite some time, and with or without a partner, you're not going to starve in here. Thankfully, traffic here seemed to be pretty consistent. We were doing pretty good as far as kills go. We weren't, as you can see, my hunger is still nearly full, and it wasn't very long before we had this Carno come up. And as not to scare him, I stayed in the bush and let Riley get the grab. And not too long after that, we had some more visitors. This time, 2 Kentros and a Dibble. A nice little Herbie mix pack. And I highly doubt they were expecting 2 large crocs in here. And Riley and I were able to hit a very nice double grab, leaving just 1 surviving Kentro of this group. And after that nice double kill, my buddy Riley decided he wanted to head out and go meet up with a friend to make a little trip up through Delta. And I stayed there and hunted for quite some time, but didn't have much success, so I wanted to go meet back up with Riley. I'd had a buddy TP to me and helped him grow here for a little bit. I figured it was time to head out. So I made the walk back down to South Plains River, made it all the way down the river system, and re-entered the lagoon. And then from the lagoon, I went all the way up mud flats like I was going to West Rail. And that's where you hit the ocean. And then I swam all the way around the north side of the map. So this is a different way to travel around. Not many people do it. It's definitely something you don't really want to try and do unless you're really big and your hunger's going down pretty slowly. But it's a quick way to get over to water access. And once you get over to this area, this new compound, it's just a short walk up and over the hill to get in to Water Access Lake. And this is where I met back up with Riley. He'd went all the way around swamps and up through Delta, and I basically went the opposite way. I'm going to show you guys this entire walk. It's going to be sped up, but it will also be included in my travel guide. It's just you'll get to see the entire trip all the way up from mud flats around to that spot. And once I got here, he had already had a few successful grabs, gotten a couple Kentros that came up for a drink, so I was able to fill up my food. And after filling up my food, it was time to leave water access and head to one of my favorite locations. And if you guys know this walk, then you already know where I'm going, and it's none other than Highland Lake. And I will have this walk updated in my new travel guide. Instead of doing a bunch of different short videos showing all the paths, I'm working on just one big new ultimate travel guide, and I'll eventually get that out here in the next week or two. But anyway, as soon as we got into Highland Lake, we had to go right to clearing it. And as we were making our way over through the channel to the other side of the lake, that's when we spotted another Deinosuchus. And I think this guy had been here for quite some time. Probably hadn't seen many other crocs. Don't know that for sure, but the way he was just completely focused on what was above water and not really watching for anything under the water. And like you guys have heard me say many times, if you're in Highland Lake, you got to stay on your toes. And unfortunately, this was just one of those 2v1 situations. Wasn't much this guy could do. He tried to put up a fight, but like I said, in a 2v1, you're going to be hard pressed to win it or even just escape in general. And after putting that guy down, the lake was ours. We went ahead and just double checked the other side to make sure he didn't have a buddy hiding around anywhere, but would have figured that if he did, he would have came and helped in the fight. But if he did have someone smaller here helping him grow, we couldn't find him. But either way, the lake was ours, and now we were set on food for, well, quite some time, because a full Deinosuchus corpse will keep both of us fed. And that's where we're pretty much going to call it this time. We made it all the way to our 13.5 ton mark. We're going to wrap this up with a nice little double kill. Some unsuspecting carnos. Was able to get them down. But after that, this is where I decided to call it. So we will pick up next week, continuing this guy's adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you all next time, and happy hunting.